So how do you sum up this rich day of ideas and experiences? I find that rather a daunting task, but let me give you just a few thoughts on the moral compass. My friend Jerry Lipman is out there in the audience somewhere. When he heard that this was going to be, hey Jerry, going to be the theme of our symposium, Resettling the Moral Compass, he sent me a very nice bronze compass inscribed with the values of the foundation on it, that sits in a place of honor on my desk, and it got me to thinking, what exactly is a moral compass? What does it do for us? And what have we learned from what we heard today? And I think the very first thing was about stillness and about listening, because the thing that keeps us from following our moral compasses is all of the static that we hear every day and all of the incoming that makes it difficult to perceive a direction. I think we heard that from Charlize Theron about listening to youth. We heard it from Carrie Hessler-Radley about listening to victims and taking their experience seriously. And since Jessica and Kennedy have been up here, we've heard many times about engaging the people and listening to them. Well, how does a compass work? If my son were up here, who has a much more scientific mind than mine, he would tell you about polarity and iron and magnetism. I think I will content myself with two qualities that I think are essential: ambition and hope. I think the ambition and people to do good drives the work, but the hope is what sustains them. Schafko happens to have the word hope in its name. It has branded this part of the moral compass, but I think it applies to all of the laureates that we have recognized and worked with over the years, those two qualities. But what does a moral compass do for us? We heard some very perceptive answers in the last round here. I would say it does three things for us as well. First, it points us toward care. There's no coincidence for me that the word compass and the word compassion are quite related. And I think you've heard stories today about people who are moved to care about one another. That is basically the story we heard from Kennedy when he was 15. He said, enough suffering, enough of these lives that are so difficult for all of us. We can come together and we can make life better for one another, even before there's a cent of income in the organization. We also heard about safety today. Some of the phrases I'll take away with me are Ted saying that all boys and men should be loving and respectful, all girls and women should be valued and safe. We heard from Emmy, use your privilege and your access to make the world a safer place. We heard from Melissa, the world should care better for its refugees. And I think also the thoughts about prevention are part of that safety and that care. When Ambassador Birx was up here and said, our job is to reduce from 37 million the number of people living with HIV and AIDS and not to let it get up to 100 million. That prevention is extremely important. Karen Bass said the same thing about preventable conflicts and preventable disasters. I think a second thing that a moral compass points us toward is courage. Charlize said, I have to do this work. I don't know how I'd live myself if I wasn't in the fight. Emmy said, what we believe in is never tested in the easy moments. So the compass points us in a direction that is fraught with peril. But it's okay if we're daunted. Of course we are. These are difficult roads to follow. But remember, if you knew the whole path already, you wouldn't have need of a compass at all. I think the third thing the compass points us toward is responsibility. Toward that full share of responsibility for the world in which we live, that we heard about from Conrad Hilton this morning. And if you're anything like me, listening to a 34-year-old and a 32-year-old telling what they've done with their lives since they were 15, what they established in their 20s, I think we have some ground to catch up on. And I would just like all of us to think about what our responsibility is to take forward and what we can do with the energy that we have gathered from this room today. Speaking of resetting, it can be done with many things, not just compasses. And one thing that could be reset is an amount. So as you know, our $2 million is an unrestricted amount, and Shofco can do anything that they like with it. Kennedy and Jess came to us and they said, we think we would like to establish either an endowment or a long-time working fund, something that would give us more autonomy as an organization and would allow us to say yes and to say no to donor opportunities that come our way, to keep more true to our community roots. And I said, well, that sounds wonderful, but why stop at two? So we put our heads together and we started calling around to the passionate network of organizations that really believe in Shofco. And I wanted to announce today that Shofco is launching a campaign that will leverage the $2 million to $10 million. They already have a lot of people who are willing to contribute to the coffers, but if you should know anyone who would like to join, you know where to address yourselves. We always hope this will happen with our prize, that the winner will take it in a way that is meaningful to them and that will ensure their flourishing in the future. So it's our hope that today you are coming away from today with more energy than you came in with, and more energy that will help you tackle the challenging problems that you care about, the pressing issues that you yourself work on. For the Hilton Foundation, it's clear to us that LA is the place to be. This is that our hometown, this great global city, has the energy to tackle our world's leading humanitarian issues. So together, let's rev this up. Let's see where we can go. And beyond this room, beyond our city, we wanted to let you know that today we've been joined by 50,000 people online, which is 3 times higher than last year. 25,000 of them, this is heartwarming, are from Kenya. And you know, it's not the afternoon in Kenya, so those people really value the opportunity. Now, on behalf of everyone here, I have some thanks that I would like to give. And the first, of course, is to Maggie Miller for the tremendous job she has done. You know, in organizing an event like this, you have to get started early if you want to snag speakers of the quality that we had today. So Maggie has been working on plotting the narrative arc of this event since January, and yet we didn't know who the winner was going to be until June. So we always pray that the narrative arc we've set up and the winner will go together. And circumstances smiled on us greatly this year, but I think Maggie did a tremendous job bringing together an arc of meaning where each speaker built on those who spoke before, and you can take with you a very coherent message. And Maggie, I know that's not easy, so thank you for that. Then others in the Hilton family too extended the name individually, but the Small But Mighty Prize team of only 3 other people put on this whole event with a hand from colleagues and great moral support from the board and the jury of the Hilton Prize. So thank you to all of them. I think our speakers were a series of home runs. I hope they inspired you as much as they inspired us, and that, again, that energy will go forward with you. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you because, and for all the good that all of you are doing in the world. And I encourage you to do that and do more. Thank you.